Welcome to our Rep Wrap, series of videos brought to you by Morrissey and Company.
Nice to be here, Jim.
Same, nice to have you here, Peter.
I'm happy to here to talk about Southwest Airlines and the
Yes.
reputation issues that they have before them.
Yeah.
You may remember that Southwest has always been positioned as an airline that's no frills and low cost, and their rather colorful founder, Herb Kelleher, had some great views about that. Anytime suggestions were made from his employees to make the airline more fun and more interesting, he was always open to that and always willing to do it. They'd even sing songs, and they still do sing songs.
They do.
Captains come back into the cabin and make everybody feel like they're a very enjoyable experience. However, they always, uppermost in their mind and their positioning was that whatever suggestions were made would never affect that low-cost flyer, that low-cost experience. Cost was always in mind. So that's a great position, but sometimes it's a difficult one when you have a safety issue, because there's always that spillover, or the potential for that spillover in people's perception that they're cutting corners on, whether it be maintenance or on
safety in general.
Safety in general, maintaining the fleet. Although I'm told that the fleet's surprised when our researcher did this work. He looked and saw that the age of the Southwest fleet is about the same as the other airlines, American, Delta, all the regular conventional airlines. So that surprised me. I thought it would be older, because in order for them to keep those low-cost fares, sometimes they might want to stretch out the age of the fleet a little bit, because airplanes, as you know, are
a great taste in my mouth about Southwest Airlines. And that notion of goodwill that they've created over the years through a strong track record of reliability, safety, competitive pricing is coming to benefit them, I think, today. It's all that investment they're seeing, I think, a lot of payback.
The nature of reputation is that you build up this reservoir of goodwill, and then when you have a situation like this, you can draw down upon it a little bit, and then maybe even use the opportunity to rebuild all those great core values and core competencies that you're known for, just to reinforce them. I think there's an ilk or a cult almost of Southwest flyers. People really sometimes go out of their way. I'll always say to my wife, I'll say, check what Southwest has available first, which is a great position to be in.
Absolutely.
Now, when you have a safety issue, it gives you a reason to pause for a minute. But if they've done a good job of communicating, this is a very candid airline.
Always has been.
Yeah, they're always if you kind of over communicate when you're on the flights, there's no doubt of where you are, where you're leaving from. Sometimes they make a joke when you get on. I'm sure you've heard.
Absolutely.
You're in Boston, and they say, "Well, welcome to Cleveland," or some funny thing like that.
Where am I?
Right, exactly. So we've all had that experience. We don't joke about safety issues. It's a very serious matter. When you have a serious incident, you want to make sure you have competent people there. And I have no reason to believe that, based on this incident, that Southwest is doing anything but behave in an ethical, smart, intelligent way to preserve the safety, protect the safety of the passenger, but also to protect their brand. Obviously, their brand is important, but it's no, it comes at far second to safety.
Exactly. I think another important brand and partner to Southwest in all this has been Boeing, and how to have this discussion without drawing Boeing into discussion as well. And just recently, the CEOs of Southwest and American Airlines publicly a vote of confidence for Boeing, and Boeing has actually participated in the inspections of the 737s, really hand in glove with Southwest on this.
Sure. Well, Boeing has a great track record, obviously, of first and foremost, there aren't that many places where you can buy passenger jets. So there's only probably maybe 3 or 4 global providers. We're very wise to state at the beginning here, we're not aviation experts, but we're aviation experts from the standpoint of being good customers. But they work with Boeing. The Boeing aircrafts are wonderful to fly in, and certainly Boeing also has a stellar reputation for safety. And I don't think any of these companies, these are public companies, and certainly the investing public would flee them if they felt that there was that kind of liability and just the opposite. We in Rep Wrap, we often will grade the performance. I absolutely grade Southwest right up there as an A in their performance here. That was consistent with how they run the airline and communicating. Only little tricky part is sometimes, in the heat of the moment, you might say things, and the choice of words is so careful, it's so crucial. And I read one of the passages that, I'm hopefully not being overly critical here, but Southwest CEO Gary Kelly, who's a wonderful CEO from all the news reports suggest, he used the word that when he was describing the potential for more inspection as being maybe overburdensome.
I remember that.
I don't know. That's a little tricky. You know, sometimes you really want to err on the side of over caution, I guess you'd say. And really, the FAA is also in the driver's seat here.
That's right.
You know, oftentimes we think it's the airline's fault. You know, the airline's fault if something happens, but sometimes you're going to blame, have it look for a scapegoat. But sometimes it's the FAA. And weather situations, not up to the airline whether they make the call.
That's right.
Somebody says
higher authority.
Right. Yeah. So, but this is the spirit of Southwest. What's the saying? Free to fly above the skies, or something like that. Which,
that's it.
You know, it's that whole idea of freedom, which
to go where you want to go.
To go where you want to go. Exactly.
Don't forget, the inspectors found cracks, small cracks, in 5 additional planes as a result of those inspections. So I think they weren't for naught, ultimately.
Well, it's, you know, it may be a kind of a little bit of a warning for you know, people are really flying much more than they ever have. I know from our experience in growing up, we never flew like this when we were young people.
It was a big deal.
Yeah, a big deal. But today everybody flies, and the U.S. airlines, the U.S.-based airlines, are, you know, very safe, highly regulated. Even with deregulation, there's still a lot of oversight. So the safety inspections are very wise. I think it's great that people shouldn't feel badly that they turn these things up. They should feel great that they did find them, and then they can, you know, implement remedies
and learn from them
to fix them. You know, there's this always the world of reputation is the world of the facts. The cracks in the plane are certainly factual. That's the realm of science. We can't. That's not debatable. But then there's this idea of perception. And that's the realm that we deal in, that intangible of customer confidence and understanding. And if Southwest continues with the rapport with their customer, they'll be fine, and they'll continue to come out of this maybe even stronger.
I think so, stronger than ever.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Jim. It was wonderful here.
Same here, Peter.
Rep wrap, and
enjoyed my first rep wrap.
Right, and I can't wait to get back on a Southwest flight.
Anytime soon. Okay.